relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Hey, Disruption Network. This is Mike Sacco, the general manager at Nye Volkswagen of Rome. If you don't know me by name, it's only because you have not received the best deal. There's only one reason to leave Utica, and that's to come see me in Rome and get the best deal on your next new, pre-owned, or certified VW. Mention that you heard this ad from Disruption Network and receive $250 off your next vehicle purchase. You'll know why our customers say, I love my Nye VW. Come see us at 5865 Rome Taberg Road in Rome or visit us online at nyvwofrome.com.
Want to know what's going on at the D? Hit up DisruptionNetwork.net and check out our events calendar brought to you by the Events Co. Find out about upcoming guests, special events, concerts, show schedules, community activities, and more. Get connected at DisruptionNetwork.net.
Wrestle Fandom Radio, Disruption Network, Stu Garrett rated R, ZB on the set first, Utica, New York, them CNY wrestling fans, giving you results like attendance, heads are in the stands, rumors in advance, who's returning, who got injured, we're paying homage to the legends going through the tenure, I had to spit it on wax, we give opinions and facts, all the latest updates, who was getting the strap, who was getting pushed, who was heating, who was cheating, who got buried for a top spot and who was leaving, what you think of TNA, what you think of the E, who's the best in Ring of Honor, who's in NXT, also Lucha Underground and New Japan Pro, AAA in Mexico, you know this is the fan show, we do this for the love and show it locally, this is what a wrestling podcast's supposed to be, Disruption Network, Wrestle Fandom Radio, reviewing the pay-per-views, talk about your favorite show, hear about who made the news, latest on the internet, what's the shoot and what's the work, who's the champ's biggest threat, Disruption Network, Wrestle Fandom Radio, reviewing the pay-per-views, talk about your favorite show, hear about who made the news, latest on the internet, what's the shoot and what's the work, who's the champ's biggest threat, do you hate Roman Reigns, who's the best in the Shield, will John Cena
Oh, bringing it back, Stu.
Oh,
What's up?
look at all this room for activity.
I know, right?
I love it.
It's crazy. You are watching Disruption Network, and this is Wrestle Fandom Radio, the greatest podcast you have never heard.
Sure is.
Garrett, it's Stu.
Me.
And we are here to talk wrestling.
Wrestling.
It's going to happen. All right. A few things to talk about tonight. These are the last two shows of the year. Our top five later on tonight is going to be the worst things that happened in wrestling in 2019. Next week will be the best things that happened in wrestling in 2019. Not to be confused with what we will probably be doing on the first show in January, which will be like our own. You don't get an award, but who did this? What was best?
We're gonna do some slammies.
The actual best of. Yeah, we'll do our own version of slammies or whatever.
Probably better off that way, anyways.
But yeah, it's gonna be the best this, the best that. But these are this show, next show, all the general overview things, and not this super specifics.
So we can be snotty and pessimistic tonight. With our top five.
Yeah, and then we'll end the year on a good note.
That works. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, guy.
Yeah. All right.
So he's not here. Yeet.
Damn it! I thought I was gonna get a week without it.
No.
Oh well.
It happens. So what's up, Garrett? How was your week, bud?
It was all right. It's been eventful, busy. We didn't have a show last week because Kate and I bought a house.
Word.
So
it's right near my job.
Yeah, like literally 4 minutes, I think it is.
Something like that.
4 minutes in decent traffic, I think it is.
Mm-hmm. He'll have to come over when he gets out of work one of these days. Yeah. He doesn't get out till 11 o'clock at night.
You're not
He'll
coming
have to come over one of these days before he goes.
Before work. Before work, because that's not happening. But yeah, so yeah, it's eventful. It's been crazy.
I got a cool tattoo.
You did get a cool tattoo.
Word.
Your niece painted?
Yes.
Yeah,
she's
that's
12,
awesome.
and I think she's been painting for like a year.
Nice.
So when when they showed it to me at the day after Thanksgiving at their house, within 60 seconds, I was like, I'm going to do something stupid. So I did something stupid right before Christmas. Whatever, I don't care.
You did a thing.
That's straight love.
Yeah.
I was going to commission her for some art, and they said, well, her, Justine, my sister-in-law's father, Papa Joe, already did it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to one-up that dude. I'm going to get it on my body. Boom. Yeah. Ego.
I like it.
Ego.
I like it. Hey, Haas is on. Ha, that's awesome. What's up, Haas?
What up, House?
Big Haas can.
Yeah, so
Shocking to see him at that last show. I can't wait to see him and his family collide with Ataxia. It's going to be impressive.
it's going to be a hootenanny.
A hootenanny. It's
No
going to be a
malarkey.
slobber knocker. It's
Yep, no malarkey, straight to business.
going to be a slobber knocker. It's going to be crazy.
Oh, son of a bitch!
And so yeah,
Yes.
NXT. Something crazy happened last week. Obviously, they're going to air tonight. I don't even know what the card tonight is going to be. You know what? I saw it, but I can't tell you what it's going to be.
I can tell you what the main event is right off the top of my head.
It's a triple threat, isn't it?
It is. It is a triple threat to determine who will face Adam Cole next week on NXT for the strap, which is the show right before Christmas, obviously. So it's shaping up to be good, I guess. Tommaso Ciampa versus Keith Lee versus oh my God,
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor. Yeah, Jesus.
So, because it's just going to be a regular TV, which NXT is now notorious for essentially making like Sunday event caliber shows, every few weeks.
Yeah.
They do that. Who do you think they're going to throw to that?
On TV, because I would say that they got to do like Cole's got opponents for days because we haven't really seen these matches not in WWE NXT. So they're gonna do something. They're doing something with Finn Balor and Cole in the Undisputed Era. They're gonna have to do something with Ciampa. I don't know if they want to give those away on TV. So I almost want to say Keith Lee.
I think Keith Lee will end up winning the match because he's hot right now, but not win the title.
Yeah.
Which will then leave Ciampa and Finn to have a collision, and those two can have it out, and then whoever comes out on top of that will end up facing Cole later on. I think that's what's going to happen.
Without knowing the future, I think they're doing a pretty good job though. Because they were gearing up for Johnny Gargano versus Finn Balor.
They really were,
first feud, which I'm sure they're still going to do that at some point. But I think they're making up for it nicely by intersecting Ciampa and Balor in there to make up for what they were going to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now Keith Lee's in the mix, and I don't know. I think they're doing. I enjoy watching NXT.
And speaking of Keith Lee. Stu and I were fangirling. Okay. Not even fanboying, okay?
Nah.
Fangirling.
GRRLL. Girl.
Yeah. So I'm sure it looked cool in the arena, but the way that they shot it with the camera, you can look, it's been everywhere all over Facebook. I'm sure the rest of the Twitter and all of that. Finn Balor backed into the corner to attack, was it Ciampa or Cole? I forgot who it was at that point.
Yeah.
And Keith Lee just appeared.
Yeah, he just rose.
Staring at him with this look. And Stu texts me that the most perfect thing, the man is a walking GIF.
He is.
Like,
and
he is.
With that shoulder block into, he's Strowman. He's Strowman Adam Cole into the crowd.
I mean, it looks like it's fake. Because you know how you see those videos where, like, someone slips and then, like, they actually take it and they do it off camera and the person goes out of orbit.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. It looks like that. But it's not. He actually throws him into the crowd. I can't believe they did that. It was amazing.
I can't think of one person that could possibly hate Keith Lee.
I don't know.
He might not be your favorite.
I could see how he could be, but I don't know how you could not like him. That's,
Vince McMahon likes the guy, all right? So I'm not saying that, Vince likes him, that means he's got to be good. Far, far from how I think about Vince McMahon. But, I mean, even Vince McMahon, like, we all collectively.
everyone likes him.
He was the star of that Survivor Series match,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
Once again, there's another gift. I saw it, too. Him hitting Roman Reigns with a spirit bomb.
Yeah, the spirit. Yeah, and that's another thing. He names his sit-down power bomb the spirit bomb, which means that he likes GVZ, which means he's even more awesome.
Giving him my energy, all my positive vibes.
I think he would, if he won the triple threat, he would win the match against Cole? No, I don't. If he did win, holy crap.
No, I think
you know what I mean. But
I think
I would love for him to win. Do I foresee that? No.
I foresee him beating Roddy for the North American title because he's hot. If they're smart, I think they would.
Absolutely.
Roddy's had a decent run with it.
He's had a decent run, but I would give it to him and let him hold it forever. Like, for a solid calendar year. I would build him up even better. Like, have him lose some matches in some places, fine, whatever, but have him hold the belt.
He's one of the few people.
It needs to be held on to.
I know if the man were listening right now, he'd be like, "Oh, shucks, guys, stop. I don't mean to make this a Keith Lee love fest, but if that man, it is what he's one of the few wrestlers that if he never turned heel, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I don't foresee him ever being
sides,
like, if he did some tweener stuff, that'd be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Haas just put up. He said, "I believe Vince McMahon somehow, some way has to stand in AEW. May take a while to come out, but I'm a firm believer in this." I've actually shared that sentiment that somehow AEW, way in the background dealings they're in with WWE. Like, it's all a job.
I do not.
In and of itself.
I do not. I mean, if evidence ever comes to light, that is the truth, and obviously, boom, yeah. But
right.
I don't.
No,
I do not.
No, and that's fine. But the way they talk, or not talk, but I don't know. It to me, it's totally plausible. But speaking of like socio-political things, like I like crazy conspiracy theory type stuff where I'm like, no, this is connected to it. I think it's totally plausible that whether he's actually got the money into it or not, that people are talking, and that's that. So
okay.
And then there was something that you hit me up with early in the week, something that with Bischoff.
Oh yeah.
What was that?
I've been kind of slacking on like just sitting in front of YouTube and watching wrestling videos every waking moment. Besides when I work, because I should probably go do other stuff. But I was watching an interview with Eric Bischoff from Inside the Ropes, and he was asked a question about how wrestling still seems to be very popular because of like online and all that stuff, but just doesn't translate to ratings in cable.
Right.
And Eric Bischoff said that he doesn't have the answer, which I don't think anyone really does have a concrete, complete answer. But he didn't. I mean, I have to watch it again because I watched a lot of it, but not all of it, of the interview. But it's kind of easy to explain if you really think about it, at least in my perspective, of why it's still popular, but it's not translating to ratings.
Right.
I mean, we can have a whole conversation about how cable is going to die sometime in the next decade or two.
We're gonna watch it to death. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, we could have a whole another conversation about how I think streaming services are gonna, packages and all that, but we won't. Because people nowadays, instant gratification. They want it instantly.
Yes.
So that's why, even if I did have access to cable, I'd probably still watch the shows more just because of how much of a fan I am. But I can just go on and I can watch all of Raw, all of SmackDown by watching these recap shows. Real quick, where they just show, quick highlights and everything. And then if I see a match, obviously understand psychology of the match, character work, blah, 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 blah. I'll go and watch it on Hulu or WWE Network, when I can, usually Hulu. So because sitting through 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of SmackDown, 2 hours of NXT, and then if there's a pay-per-view, if there's a big 4 pay-per-view, and then you got to take over and like the Rumble or something, it's so much content that you can't, it's hard to sit and just dedicate yourself to like one solid thing. So I would say Eric Bischoff, that's probably the pretty basic answer right there.
Right. I totally agree with everything about that essentially. So do you think then, with everything being on the internet, do you think it was smart for TNA to do the show, not TNA, sorry, NWA, to launch directly to YouTube?
Yep. Same way I feel about AEW Dark.
AEW Dark,
I think
right?
they're smart and they're ahead of the curve. I think NWA is doing surprisingly better, like the chatter I hear.
Right.
Just from like not super huge wrestling fans.
Right.
Like asking me, what's this? I'm like, to be honest, I've been bad. I haven't even watched it. I mean, because there's just so much. But I think they're very intelligent. Put it out there, get more eyes on the product. So,
Right.
I mean, it's a slow build, obviously, because when you think of wrestling nowadays in North America, you think WWE. You don't
Right.
necessarily think NWA. So, yeah, smart idea, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to. I mean, I think if they could find a way to pull numbers of everything, the way it gets watched in any way, shape, or form, that almost no shows would die. Mm-hmm. You know, and that could just be referred to anything. If it's like, oh, the people aren't watching this show, let's take Brooklyn Nine-Nine for example. Obviously, Fox decided that they wanted to nix it for a reason, and then the entire internet saved it.
Yeah,
because they're like, you can't get rid of this show. It's literally the best show you have on that network.
Yeah,
you know. But sometimes the day that it airs, the time that it airs, people can't watch it. You know, you know this. Back in the day, I was a huge Buffy and Angel fan. Huge. Mm-hmm. I could watch Angel. I could not watch Buffy because of work.
Yep.
And I did not know what was happening for the past the last 3 seasons. I had to watch it whenever I could because this was before DVR. This was before, you know. I mean, I could record it, but it was kind of hard to do that on like the VHS and all that. It was even just like kind of annoying. I had to wait till it came out on DVD and buy it.
You remember that? You remember having to be so into a show or something that you wanted to see on TV, but you'd have like other stuff to do.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, come on, 7:00, get here, record. Or you'd start recording like 15 minutes early because you have to leave.
Yeah.
These kids don't even know.
They don't even know.
No.
You're right. It's instant gratification. You can find out. I mean, that's why, and I talk about using the app all the time. Haas, I'm going to go back to what you said here with your stuff in a minute, so don't go away. If I can't watch wrestling right away, or like you said, when you review a show, because we've been watching wrestling for so long that we don't have to necessarily watch every single thing that happened in the show to understand what happened in the show. Mm-hmm. You review it, and you essentially just watched it in your head. You know, because, oh, they did this and they did this and they did that. So unless it's like you had to see how he slammed, like you can't have someone describe to you the way Keith Lee threw Adam Cole into the crowd. So you have to see that.
Yeah.
So you can say, oh, it was this unbelievable throw. You have to see it. There are some things you do have to go back and look at and see. So,
yeah, like when I try to explain to Dwayne, my roommate, about Aleister Black and my love for wrestling.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, unless you want to see it, man, I can't. There's just I've been. It's like trying to explain Magic the Gathering to me, which a lot of my friends like to play. There's so many years behind it. Like you have all that knowledge. Like same with me with wrestling, I cannot explain it to people why I love it so much because there's so much that goes into it.
Yeah, we could do a show just about that.
Yeah, really.
Talk about like the beginning of it and then like just everything that kept going. I know I've said it in different shows and different times, all the different, going back and coming to. But yeah, it's there's back to my original point, there's the instant gratification of in knowing. So like, it's like right before work, and I'm like, oh, what happened on wrestling last night? And I go into Bleacher Report, and boom, there's a detailed thing of every single thing that happened. Read it quick, and now I know what happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, instead of I have to watch 3 hours of da-da-da, you know.
Yeah, they tell me Buddy Murphy had a banger with Daniel Bryan. Yeah, I went and watched that.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like when I get the chance, I'm going to go back and watch it. It's going to be even easier when, you know, house and everything, especially. But it's they're right. There's everything is done through streaming, and that, you know, if the WWE Network, as far as they go with that, has come a long way as far as being able to bring you content. But I think they need to take another step in evolving and doing that. And I think you did say that they quietly launched like a live or a free version of it. I don't know what it entails, and that's cool. But I don't necessarily know if they should charge you more to essentially do more. But they could be bringing you much more content. I can tell you right now that the main thing I miss about having the network, other than obviously you can go back and watch all the old stuff, is I can't actually find a way at all to view NXT UK. I can't watch NXT UK at all.
Oh yeah.
I can review it all day, but then like some new person comes on the scene and like I'm like, okay, I know what this person's been doing. I couldn't pick them out of a lineup because I've never seen them. You know, unless I Google what they look like. You know, so there's that. Oh, Haas, you like Supernatural too? Supernatural's awesome. Have you ever watched that?
Supernat?
Yeah.
You guys did, so
Yeah.
you watch it. Joe watches it. Roger watches it.
Yeah.
You guys have all been my homies.
It's almost over.
2 decades.
It's crazy. 15 years of that show.
I tried watching it from the start, and it was just a slow build. And at that point, there was how many seasons are there now? 15.
They're on season 15.
All right. So at this point, there was 10.
Right.
And it's the same thing with Law and Order SVU, man.
Yeah, you got to go back.
Yeah, I was trying to watch
so
it all from
far.
the beginning. I'm just like, I can't.
There's so much.
Can't do it.
So much.
Once again, instant gratification. Get to the good shit.
So Haas wrote here that he heard, and he said he doesn't know if it's true, that someone in AEW was attempting to buy the names of the old WCW pay-per-views, like the names, so that they could run the names of the ones. I'm sure it's probably stuff like Halloween Havoc, Bash at the Beach,
I know
things that the
Cody.
WWE doesn't use. I as well don't know if that's true. That's the first I've heard of it, but I wouldn't be surprised if another big company was attempting to buy stuff.
Cody got some stuff.
You know, what did he get? Did he get the use of his last name back?
Yeah, he got that. He also got he got access to, I believe, the Bunkhouse Brawl, which is great.
Bunkhouse Brawl.
Yeah, I don't know what you're gonna do with that in 2019, almost 2020, but who knows? I also didn't think that there would be a competing company, a couple of years ago. So,
hey, if it breeds,
I'm happy. I'm so happy.
If it breeds, any type of thing, I think NXT has gotten. I think it's gotten better. Not only with the launch.
It was starting to slide, I think, a little bit. Now being back on cable, I actually am interested in more things.
Yeah.
I love NXT. Don't get me wrong, but AEW. You know what AEW gave us?
What?
A little bit of the bubbly.
Yeah.
Make fun of Jericho all you want. If you're one of those people, that man.
I don't know how anyone could. He's the GOAT.
He is. He's the GOAT.
Youngest AEW champion in history.
And oldest. Undefeated.
So yeah. That's that. It's
longest reign, held the title the most.
Yeah.
Held the title first.
Do you think have they talked about, because I know they did that and they immediately went to the women's, right?
Who's that?
The women's title, as well.
Who are we talking?
Like AEW.
Yeah.
So, do they have a mid-card title?
Mm-mm.
No.
They got
So it's
tag, world, and women's. They surprised they did not get
Who's the
Rio?
No. I know Riho. Who's
Tag?
who's the tag?
SCU,
That's right.
which yes, much deserved.
Okay.
And
So it's 6:30.
Speaking of
Done with
much
his-
deserved.
I think he should be done with his workout.
Speaking of much deserved, come on, I'm segueing for you, bud.
Yeah, I think
A well-deserved title
it
win.
might be time
Talk to
call.
the champ.
Mr. Rick Recon. And we'll see if this works because even just trying to look at that. Even just trying to launch everything I was doing earlier, and I just kept messing up this entire deck.
You're doing fine, sir.
Hello?
Rick Recon.
What up?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear us? Uh-oh. Are we having that thing where
I think we might.
hear us? Oh no.
Because we can hear him, but I don't think he can hear us.
Hello?
Hello?
Hold on.
Fix it, Garrett.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys
There
now.
we go.
There
It's
it
always
is.
3. That's what's wrong with it. Sorry about
How
that.
you guys doing?
Good. How
No,
are
it's
you?
all right.
Sorry
All
about
good.
that. I accidentally
No,
had
it's all
something
good.
muted. So we wanted to call. Obviously, we called you a couple weeks ago before your big match, and we went there. We watched. You delivered. You did everything you said that you were going to do. The odds were even stacked against you more than any challenger normally because the Greek god Papadon was out there with you as well. But you obtained the Northeast Championship in ICW. So
Yes, I did.
That-
It feels fantastic. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah,
I'm not
that-
gonna lie. I'm not gonna play it cool. It feels freaking awesome.
no, I'm glad. You should be happy. That's
Humble brag that shit, bro.
yeah.
Do it up.
So yeah. What was what was going through your mind when when the bell rang when that happened when you got to raise that title?
Dude, as far as like beginning of the match was just like I said I was gonna do was just get on his ass.
Yeah.
Get on him. That's it. Like that was the only thing in my head. And then obviously you got the Greek god on the outside. Like that's a dangerous son of a bitch too. So it felt in a lot of ways it felt like a 2-on-1 handicap match at times. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a few points where I was getting my ass kicked.
Yeah.
Thinking, oh man, I'm actually gonna get through this. But obviously I didn't. To be able to when Sideburns' hand came down for the 3, brother, that was almost as good as sex, man. 'Cause you knew that was it. That was it, man. That's why we call it the pop.
Smart
bro.
comment
that was
on the
it.
almost.
That was the best feeling, man.
Yeah. I mean
To win that.
I had the pleasure of being able to actually call that match. I got to work commentary all night with Demetrius, so I got a chance to call that match. It was awesome. Stu, just so you know, like for a visual, in the place jumped up. Everyone was excited to see Rick win, and picked up the title. And I think I recall you saying this, but the first thing you were going to do was rip his face off the title, which is exactly what he did, and chucked the picture clean across the arena. Literally,
I did. It
frisbeed it all the way to
ended
the
up
wall.
all the way over. Yeah, it did. It ended up all the way over on the other side of the room, right by Benjamin Blackwell, and he held it up to me and went, "What the hell, man?"
It landed in Blackwell's stuff. Like he was packing up his area, and he's packing up his merch table, and I think it landed in that stuff.
Christmas gift.
What a shot! What a shot!
It was,
man, not for nothing. What a shot!
Yeah, it was. So it was
Dude, perfect.
It was dude, perfect. Yeah. So yeah, it was definitely a big night for you. We especially since we had you on before, we wanted to call and say congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it's
that means a lot, guys.
now it finally gets to be the Northeast Championship.
Yeah, when was the
Yes, absolutely.
when was the match? How long ago was that? The inaugural match? I was there. I'm just trying to place like a month here.
That was the August show?
The first one. The first when there was when Ben screwed me
Yes.
the first time.
Yeah.
Was it?
So,
It was
that was
July
back
or
in
August?
in Rome. It was August. It was
August.
in
so
Rome.
that's like blue balls for like 3 months.
Yeah.
You know, you think you win the title, you get jerked out of that. You know, by
Then he gets the match, and then Ben doesn't show up. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, he keeps ducking. He's ducking me for like 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's definitely almost better than sex.
Yeah.
Like, blue balls for 3 months, man. You think you're supposed to be the champ. And then you get that, bam. Bam.
I don't. Yeah, that was a different feeling for me, man. Because I don't have to have blue balls for 3 months. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
So that was a new feeling for me. But yes, it was. Man, was it worth it? Man, was that payoff worth it? I can tell you that. So I mean, I have it. I carry it with me proudly to every show, to every promotion that I'm at. It's in my bag. It's not to show it off or as an ego point, but it's this is mine, and I am the champion of the Northeast. There is, and here's the funny thing: there is no other active company in this area, in the entire Northeast, that has a Northeast champion or title.
Perfect.
That is the only one.
Perfect. And you're the champ of the Northeast.
Yes.
Which you could argue
you know what?
is more important, than just the company. You could argue it. I'm not going to, but
We're not going to.
Well, I wouldn't go there. I'm not going to go there.
I'm not,
you know that.
I'm not even going
I
there.
mean, like, listen, look at the heavyweight title. One, that's a beautiful belt. All the belts are beautiful, actually, I must say. But I mean, look at the guys that have held the heavyweight title. I mean, and even in the short time of it being around. I mean, Immortal's been going about a year?
Yeah.
A year old at this point, roughly? Yep. Yeah, I want to say, okay, so it's been about a year. But the guys that have held it, I mean, that's already bringing up the prestige of that title. And I mean, I already know so many people throughout my travels that have already asked me, hey, man, how did you get into Immortal? Hey, what's that place you work for, Immortal? I'm like, all right, well, you want to get in, you best do the work.
Yeah.
You better prove yourself, because this is starting to be the place to be in upstate New York.
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, look at all the people, that have held that belt that are coming in.
Slick, Brute.
Yeah, Slick, Brute. Yeah. It's
Richard Holiday.
Yeah. That's
Holiday.
That's
That's a dude. That's a guy I've been wanting to work forever, and that's going to happen. Whether it's in Immortal or somewhere else, that's going to happen at some point. Exactly. The guy
interesting
Shawn now has it, so like there's so much, man, already.
Yeah.
So that's Immortal's where it's at, man.
Absolutely. As a champ, is there anyone you're looking forward?
You're reading my mind,
to
bro.
Wrestling against, like you just said, you wanted to work with Holiday. So, is there anyone you're willing to put the belt on the line, or anyone obviously that you want, that you think, all right, this person absolutely deserves a shot at some title, so let's do this? Or is there anyone that you have like that? Anyone in mind?
Or
anyone in Immortal
you want to slap off?
Yeah. Or anyone's face you just want to smash and prove that that's why you're the champ.
Well, there's such a long list of guys that either would deserve that or would have just absolute banger matches with. So I'm not even going to get to that. I'll let the upcoming months unfold, and we'll see where it goes. But like I said, when I became the champ and when that was announced, I said it. I posted it. I said, to be the best, you have to beat the best. So bring me the best guys that you have in the Northeast or from anywhere. I really don't care where they're from. If they're the best, bring them. Prove that they're the best.
Right.
By facing me, and I'll just beat them. So I'll remain the best.
Yeah.
Because I'm the Northeast champion, the one and only.
Right.
That's it. So line them up. Please line them up. And that's a shoot. Line them up. Go ahead. I'll prove that I'm the best guy on the roster. Period.
Reach for the sky. Sorry, I just had a Toy Story moment for a second.
That's cool.
Nothing like being confident, man. It's a great thing.
Yeah. You have every right to be confident
Hell
as
yeah.
well. So as well. Well, all right. Well, we want to call, get a few thoughts from you, get your, give you some congratulations on winning. We're absolutely excited about seeing who you'll be facing, obviously, in the first show in February. Hopefully, that's not something that's been announced yet.
The Mortal Kombat 2, that I'm sorry, but just the whole concept of that is just dope. It looks great. I love it. And I mean, like I said, fatality, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm sure we'll probably be talking to you again.
Yeah, get Rick in here sometime, maybe in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Utica.
All right, man.
Utica's a distance, I think, away from where he is. But
Yeah.
sometime, hopefully we can get him.
That's not that far. Utica's what, hour and a half from me? Yeah,
I'm not sure. I'm not 100% where you are. So
I'm an Albany guy, so that's about an hour and a half from me. So
that's about
that
an hour
ain't
and a half.
nothing, man. That's hop on I-90, going like 75, 80. I'll be there in an hour and 15. I'm good.
Yeah,
There you
but
go.
if anyone is from out that way ever comes actually into the studio, we'd have to do like a longer show. We'd have to do at least an hour and a half because it's going to be worth their time to be here. But we can also start early and do whatever.
We can talk to Papa Z.
If I'm out that way, I'll definitely let you guys know. Trust me.
Yeah. Whenever you want to come in, you have a standing invitation. You say the word.
All
and
right.
you can come in.
Good to know. Good to know. I'll keep that in mind.
All right. Well, until next time, then we'll talk to you.
All right, guys.
All
have a good one. Thank you again for having me.
Thank you.
Hey, Rick.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
All right. Bye.
Nice guy.
That is the Northeast champion of ICW.
Yes, he is.
Rick Recon. So, anything else that we should be running down or handling, or anything else in the news of wrestling, the wide world of wrestling?
Well, there's a lot going on. Some releases happening here.
Yes, the releases.
Mm-hmm.
What was up with that? I saw. Was it what's his name?
Luke Harper.
Luke Harper,
who also copywrote Brody Lee, by the way.
Right.
Former favorite of the 2CW brethren, by the way.
Right.
Looks like he's getting his release. He has a 90-day no-compete clause, but a lot of people are like, well, he had 90 days left on his contract or something like that. So it's actually like he's still, waiting out his contract because the 90-day complete. But he's free. He's free.
Right.
Sin Cara's free.
You saw Haas mention that too.
What's that?
Seeing Brody Lee is probably going to be in AEW.
Oh, it'd be great.
Or can't wait to see him there. And I definitely agree with that.
I'm not saying all disgruntled WWE employees should go to AEW. I'm not saying that.
I'm not saying that.
But
some people might be better off going to NWA. I don't know, man.
I think Lee in AEW would be awesome because if you think about it, there's not a lot of big guys over there.
Right.
Like Hager's probably your biggest guy, like height-wise.
Yeah, and him.
I'm not saying you have to have Atlanta Giants either. But,
right. Yeah, but him.
Oh, him versus Hager?
Yeah, that would be a fantastic work.
Yeah, actually, do you know how many people in Vince McMahon land love, like, Harper, Brody Lee, whatever you want to call him?
Right.
Like, there's a picture of, like, this is from, I think, 2 years ago, Bray Wyatt, Jericho, a whole bunch of other wrestlers, all with, like, I think it said, like, something about Luke Harper just being, like, their favorite wrestler. Like, they all had these custom tees, and they're all just posing with him. And it was, like, a good dozen wrestlers, probably. Like, he's loved. Like, people know how good he is. And WWE just... Vince McMahon being mad at him for not being able to do a Southern accent. I don't know if you ever heard that little tidbit.
No.
Like, stuff like that. Like, punching for that. Like, you're it's baffling to me.
Right.
So, I don't know. I'll be happy to see him out able to show what he can really do to a broad audience that isn't WWE.
Seeing his release didn't surprise me. One, because you haven't seen him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember seeing an episode where him and what's the other big guy?
Rowan.
Rowan. Where him and Rowan came out when they were like the
Bludgeon Brothers.
Bludgeon Brothers.
Yeah.
And Luke just looked like he had this defeated look in his eyes.
I agree.
Like he hated what he was doing at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they walked out and the poses they had to do, the way to switch the hammers on the arms, he looked like he hated that. And it was just this look in his eyes where he was just like, I can't believe I'm doing this at work. You know, it's which is weird because I remember seeing him as Brody Lee in 2CW. And he was out there and he just looked like he was having so much fun. Like he loves it. And then to see him on that, doing that gimmick and just looking like he was defeated, actually kind of broke my heart a little bit. And I could just look and just the look on his face, I was like, what? Like,
it's not the
I
first
felt
time
bad.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Like Owens, I feel like I've seen Owens look like that at points
Lately,
in his
yeah.
career.
You know, but that's
Not as much, right? Like I think he honestly.
I think he's doing a little more work that he likes to do. But that's a guy you got to let him do what we want. Like you and I were together the first time I saw him, and we were just like, "This is the guy. This guy has all of it, with the exception of being like super tall and being super ripped. This guy has everything. He can wrestle anyone or anything, and it's amazing. He is the best mic worker since Austin and Rock. He's he's top 5 mic skills of like all time. All time.
I mean, I would say as of right now, yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Easily.
Yeah. Is that a list?
Haven't we done that?
Mic workers?
Have we not done that?
I don't know.
We can
Hold
always
on.
do it again.
We can look back. Like actual, just like, because there's difference between like promo cutters and mic workers, and you know what I mean. And it's like it's totally different.
Because right now, I mean, people can. You've got very pro Cody people and very anti Cody people. But I don't care what you say. You can be on either side of the coin.
I'll look through the.
I would put him.
I put all the lists
number one
back
right
here.
now.
Right now, hands down.
Cody, like when that promo a couple weeks ago, he's very, very good at it. He can captivate an audience.
Yeah.
And Jericho as well, and Samoa Joe, Owens. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just off the top of my head. That's why an all-time list, I would actually have to take quite a bit of time.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll look, and then maybe it can be something that we do. To start off 2020, but in the early shows of 2020.
All right. Yeah. Go back through the archives, my friend.
So then we will tonight be doing the worst things that are happening or happened in 2019
according to us.
So would you like to go first, or you want me to go first?
I can, whichever you'd like, man. I can go first. I just got to pull her up here. Yeah, it's right there, my notes, and top 5, and yeah, I'll definitely go.
All right, go ahead.
All right. So first of all, honorable mention, as we always do.
Okay.
Mine is dumb, unnecessary shit.
Okay.
By that, I mean just unnecessary, like, what are you thinking? Despite how you feel.
You mean like...
Jim Cornette.
Like that...
saying that...
Rusev and Lana divorce angle?
This is... Without getting political or...
it's too Attitude Era.
Well, I'm just saying, just
crappy Attitude Era remnant.
I guess we'll just say things like what Jim Cornette said. Jordan Miles, that whole T-shirt thing, which take it as you will. To me, it was blatantly obvious. Stuff like that. Like I don't. It's about to be 2020. Can't we just get past that shit? Like I know it might have been acceptable back in your heyday or whatever, but if you can learn a certain way to think about things, you can train your brain not to.
Right. I don't think it was. It might not have been intended to be a racist thing, but it's definitely.
Yeah, we can get into that whole conversation.
Yeah, I don't know if it. I mean, if someone did it with intention, then they're a jerk. But
yeah,
I would hope. I would like to hope that it wasn't done with intention.
Well, since you mentioned it, anyways, my actual 5, and these are in no particular order, but we might as well start off with Lana and Rusev divorce thing because, I mean, I've heard it.
Are they actually getting divorced?
No.
Okay.
No. I've heard it described as it's so bad that it's good because it is just awful. And to be honest, even if he seems like he's semi into it, I still don't think Rusev wants to be in WWE. I don't think he wants to be there.
Ever
since they took away Aiden English,
yeah,
and Rusev Day, because he got over, and it wasn't something that Vince and his room full of former Hollywood writers that absolutely know what they're talking about. Just because they didn't make it and get it over, like they get punished.
Right.
It's another big qualm I have. But yeah, the whole thing, it's just awful. And Jerry the King Lawler, there are so many jokes that anyone could think of just with him being the one that often does those segments, like divorce court and everything.
Right.
So we won't get into that. But that was stupid. Also, the whole Seth and Becky are dating? What? Mentioning that every 5 seconds. I really think that actually when they started pairing them up there for a short time against Corbin and Lacey Evans, I think that hurt Becky.
That hurt way more than it helped.
Yeah, because they were already screwing up Seth after he won the Universal title. Just that whole butchering, that whole period of time was awful. And I think that actually hurt Becky quite a bit. And who cares if they're dating? Just because they're dating doesn't mean you have to, it doesn't have to be a thing.
You don't have to shine a light on it.
I know you want to mix your realism, that's, the cool thing to do,
right.
Work shoots and everything. I know you want to mix that in with your product, but not everything has to be.
Right.
You don't see Aleister Black and Zelina Vega, on screen, which is fine.
Right.
Other things, this actually dates back to 2018, but do you remember on back in December 2018, it was actually December 17th, Vince, Shane, Stephanie, and Triple H all saying out in that ring, and they said, you guys are the authority now, the fans are, and just how badly they botched that.
And nothing changed?
No, I mean, things did change because WWE to me this year was a lot of valley, but there are some peaks and valleys.
Right.
When they brought Heyman in, I thought that was good. It started getting better to me for a couple months there, and then it just, I don't know, it's very like this. But just saying that, and then they don't listen to the fans.
Right.
The fans audibly are telling you that something is trash. Hell in a Cell, for instance. You know what I mean? And you just don't listen to them. So that's stupid. This also just drives me nuts. This will be something that's actually on my top 5 best next week. A part of it is. But one of the worst things is how badly they botched The Fiend.
Okay.
After the Finn Balor SummerSlam match, you finally see him. I was talking about it. I was showing you and Z here the video, and you just have to go watch the full thing, not the WWE edited one. It's awesome. I loved it, and then they just completely destroyed it.
Right.
Almost completely. Maybe they can salvage it. I don't know, but that made me real sad. And number 1, actually, this is the only one they'll say has a numerical ranking. Number 1, and it'll be number 1 until this contract is over with. Number 1, Saudi shows. Because they're awful, and I could get into me being kind of a liberal cuck if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. But just, they're bad. They're just glorified house shows, and Bill Goldberg, Undertaker match, I'm not even mad at Bill, but it was awful. Every time they go over there, it's bad. The only one that was good was the Greatest Royal Rumble, to me. But they should have saved that for stateside. I know they're giving you a lot of money, a lot of blood money, but it's just, there's so many bad things about it.
Right.
I could do an entire show on that.
Yeah,
on that.
yeah, it's fine. Actually, our lists share a lot in common. All of my worst things in 2019, they're all from WWE.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a.
It's not because it's supposed to be in wrestling, but a lot of companies did other good stuff. And I think one of the things that's actually going to have for the positive, we're actually TNA or Impact Wrestling on my list next week.
Yeah.
But so for worst, so number 5, I have no Taker at Mania. Now, and when I say that, one, this is the first WrestleMania I ever went to, so that was a big thing for me, obviously.
Oh,
and
yeah,
my
I forgot
wife
about that.
loves The Undertaker as well, so she also wanted to see him. So he should have been there in some capacity.
Yeah.
He didn't need to wrestle. He didn't need to do anything. He could have came out and like stood in the middle of the ring, turned the lights on, turned the lights off, and then walked back out, and I would have been happy. I would have been happy with that. He could have came out, chokeslammed somebody, tombstone somebody, whatever.
Yeah.
It didn't need to
pop.
be that. In further in that, if and I've almost wanted to have like a whole discussion about it, although it might not be too long, but he should be involved in the company in some way. Where he should restart the ministry or something like that. He should be some type of manager in some way instead of just. I mean, he's still making money from the WWE, so he should be doing something.
I'm pretty sure he signed like basically a lifelong contract.
Yeah, he should be doing something with them, and I don't know, but no Taker at Mania. He should have been there in some capacity doing something. I don't care if Mark Calloway is hosts. You know what I mean? And not The Undertaker, like Mark Calloway himself comes out with his hunting hat on and whatever, and he's just hanging out and talk. Like, I don't care.
You know what?
But he should be there. Do I want to see The Undertaker? Sure, of course.
People might disagree with me when I say this, but actually as a host, because I never thought of that, I'm sorry to interrupt, but if you want to get that American pop, you have WrestleMania be in like Texas or something. You have Mark Calloway like host, or just say it's The Undertaker, but then you don't have him come out as Undertaker. You have him come out as American Badass Undertaker, flying the flag and everything. Oh, dude, you could mix so much. You can get so much.
America.
You can get so much America out of that, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No. So number 4, WWE's failure to pull triggers.
Oh, God, yes.
An example. Burying talent like Rusev, like you were just mentioning, or anybody, anyone, anything when they're over with fans, and the higher up just decide that you created that and we didn't create that, so you're done. Like what's his name? Spears.
Ty Dillinger.
Ty Dillinger.
Yeah.
How hot was he, and especially off that first Royal Rumble entrance when he came out at number 10, that was so perfect. They fed into that
The first time
they fed into that, and then they murdered it. Their inability to pull triggers, like when we were talking about how they should have ended WrestleMania, I understand, that you put 2 belts on your hottest person, and that was cool. That was one thing. It was a cool thing. I get it. But you could have had the original 4 horsewomen of NXT all standing in the ring together, all with belts on them at the time. Just ending WrestleMania with women holding the belts up. And that could have been such a powerful statement on so many different levels.
WWE.
And again, WWE has the inability to pull triggers that they should.
WWE loves their pictures.
Yeah.
They love their but there would have had to been 5 women, because you would have had to have the woman that created women's wrestling, Stephanie McMahon.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Stephanie McMahon.
I love and hate. I'm not a complete hater.
Anyways, number 3, any Saudi event. Any Saudi event, and especially when it pertains to pulling up like the old wrestlers. Like, how bad was the Undertaker Kane versus DX?
How bad is it when Kane's like the best, the one that looked the best in that match?
Yeah, and I think Triple H he's still in good shape. He still wrestles good matches, but I think even he was trying to tone down to let Shawn and Undertaker to not outshine them. So then Kane's like, whatever, I'm here to kick ass.
Wig fell off.
Huh?
Didn't like Kane's wig fall off?
I don't remember.
I believe so.
It was just bad.
Princey wants what Princey gets.
Yeah. Number 2, disqualification at Hell in a Cell.
Yes.
Just
You know how I feel.
the point of it is Hell in a Cell. It's called Hell in a Cell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Like it just
And I know
I can't believe that I still can't believe that they did it, you know?
in the picture of Seth having to go crazy to defeat the Fiend, but you still buried the Fiend. You remember, I didn't even want him there. I
Right.
didn't want them to do that. But if they're gonna put him in the Universal title picture, just pull the trigger. Just boom, he kills Seth. Seth is dead, and just make him the champ. But no.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that was really bad. But number 1, my biggest gripe since they have been doing it and then burying the people that get there, the call ups from NXT, because they almost all get wasted. They'll have a shining moment for a minute. Some may not even have a shining moment at all. EC3 got completely thrown to the wayside. And I'm not even the hugest EC3 fan. He won me over in NXT, and I was like, oh, this guy's pretty good, and then nothing.
No, and everyone said it too. He's tailor-made for the main roster. I'm like, yeah, he is. And then they just completely
And nothing. The absolute. It's so yeah. I don't even like how big were Aleister Black and Ricochet? If I was them, I'd be begging to go back to NXT.
I
now.
didn't bring up Aleister Black because of my bias.
Right, but I mean, and I like him. I like
the
his
biggest botch. Like Ricochet's at least somewhat in the public eye.
Yeah, but
He got the biggest rub.
Ricochet could also literally fit on any roster. You could even put him in the UK, but I mean, not considering he's not any type of British. But anyways, he could have been on 205. He could have been the king of 205 Live. He could be on SmackDown or on you know, but. They just botch all of those. And if I was a wrestler in NXT and I managed to miss that area or that era of like, oh, the call-ups, and it's like, oh, why aren't Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano going up? Well, they got more story to tell down in NXT. And then all the moves happened and they didn't leave NXT. I would have been like,
well, Ciampa's already said that he'll retire if he ever gets called over, as he likes to say.
Yeah.
And I agree with that, called over.
Oh, yeah, well, and because he's been making the big thing about that now because there was the video that WWE released of the, I can't remember her name now, but the female ref that was in NXT.
Yeah.
And he, after his match, he gave a speech about her. The other refs and Triple H all came out, and he made his big thing. It was like, she's making the lateral move over to SmackDown, you know, and that's good. And I'm glad. I mean, I don't know if that was aired on I'm going to assume that it wasn't aired on.
I watched it on YouTube.
Yeah.
It was
so
WWE exclusive.
It's exclusive. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Great to see.
It's still great to see. And, you know, and obviously WWE released that, let him say that, you know, they didn't clip it or anything, but it was. And she's a good ref, too. It has nothing to do with, like, gender or anything. She's actually entertaining to watch.
She's a good referee.
Too. She's a really good ref. Like, when someone's trying to get up, she's reacting to it. Mm-hmm. And that's how you know when someone is also a good ref. It's, you know, you have a good ref when you don't see the ref. Mm-hmm. When the ref is, you forget, oh, I don't even remember who reffed that match. A great ref is a ref that has reactions to everything, so where you see like when they react to what happened, you know, so it's just,
you know, the clip of old ECW when Taz had they were wrestling for the TV title, I think, had Bam Bam Bigelow and the Kata Jame, and Bam Bam falls backwards to the ring.
Yes,
that ref, I can't remember his name, but when he was like,
exactly, the jumping back, or the, you know, yeah, the guy that was in the ring when it collapsed with Big Show and what you call it?
Who was that? Kyoto?
I don't know if it might have been Kyoto, but you know, it's like he bounced perfectly with it, and then the way he stood up and, you know, some of the refs want to just roll out of the way just to get out of the shot. You know, you're also part of the match. You gotta get in there, and she's a fantastic ref, so it's good. You know, do I know why she did the move to SmackDown? No.
Well, she was on SmackDown last week reffing a women's match. So, I mean, they probably did a lot of it for that, but I don't care. I'm just happy to see.
Because at first she was on NXT, she was only doing women's matches, and then she was, and then she was on the guys' matches, and I was like, yes, she's a good ref. Yeah. Anyways, I think that'll be it for tonight. I think we'll wrap it up. It was a good top 5.
We'll wrap it up better than Nick Cannon. That wasn't that great. But it was all right.
Epstein didn't kill himself, but Nick Cannon did.
Yeah, I saw someone. I saw that in my buddy Gutter, and I was like, usually I hate those Epstein ones just because they're old. I hate any meme that gets old. But that was good.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
that's funny.
I saw another one that said like he doesn't even win battles on his own show.
Yeah, saw that too.
What's the battle Eminem? No, sorry. So next week we will actually be the last show of the year. Because do not jinx us like that. Because the following 2 weeks are both holidays. We're not going to attempt to rearrange the days or anything like that because we'd also be doing it without Stu. And who knows who else wouldn't be able to make it if it was that night. And I can't do the show by myself. So next week is the best things that happened in wrestling, and essentially an overview of 2019. And we will also be calling and Skyping with the Dark Horse himself, Johnny Moran.
All right.
So, yeah. So, and if you remember, he recently got into that big beef with Isis Effects where Isis actually got fired as GM.
Yep.
So that's going to be interesting to see. But he also recently just won a title in another Fed. So yeah, he's got a lot. I'm sure he's probably got a lot to talk about. Awesome. We got a nice big interview on our hands for next week. So we'll have that, and we'll wrap up 2019.
And maybe we'll have an aunt.
Maybe we'll have an aunt.
Or maybe a Mark.
Or
maybe a both.
Yeah.
By Mark, I mean Demetrius.
Yeah.
I didn't get to use it yet. Fucking Mark.
So yeah, that'll be our final show of 2019 next year. So join us then. Until then, enjoy your week, and we will see everybody then. All right?
All right.
All right.
Wrestle Fandom Radio, Disruption Network, Stu Garrett rated R. ZB on the set first, Utica, New York. Them CNY wrestling fans giving you results like attendance. Heads are in the stands, rumors in advance. Who's returning, who got injured? We're paying homage to the legends going through the tenure. I had to spit it on wax, we give opinions and facts. All the latest updates, who was getting the strap? Who was getting pushed, who was heating, who was cheating? Who got buried for a top spot and who was leaving? What you think of TNA? What you think of the E? Who's the best in Ring of Honor? Who's in NXT? Also Lucha Underground and New Japan Pro. AAA in Mexico, you know this is the fan show. We do this for the love and show it locally. This is what a wrestling podcast's supposed to be. Disruption Network, Wrestle Fandom Radio, reviewing the pay-per-views. Talk about your favorite show. Hear about who made the news. Latest on the internet. What's the shooter, what's the work? Who's the champ's biggest threat? Disruption Network, Wrestle Fandom Radio, reviewing the pay-per-views. Talk about your favorite show. Hear about who made the news. Latest on the internet. What's the shooter, what's the work? Who's the champ's biggest threat? Do you hate Roman Reigns? Who's the best in the Shield? Will John Cena eventually end up turning the heel? We Young Bucks and Bullet Club, and I'm signing with Vince. World Wrestling Entertainment dotted line on the Prince. So Kenny Omega make his debut in the States, taking AJ's title, grave his name on the plate. So Jericho retire, who will ever beat Brock Lesnar? Will he re-sign? Who will be his top contender? Will CM Punk return again for one more match? Maybe headline WrestleMania for one more stretch? Maybe HBK, you could keep Ric Flair. Finally get the 1, 2, 3 with a pin over Taker. Will Daniel Bryan stay being cleared to compete? Will they break Asuka's streak? Is she fearing defeat? So many questions to be answered. Got the 411 Wrestle Fandom Radio, and there's a lot more to come. Check us out. Disruption Network, Wrestle Fandom Radio, reviewing the pay-per-views. Talk about your favorite show. Hear about who made the news. Latest on the internet. What's the to shoot it, what's it work? Who's the champ's biggest threat?
So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broken everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Hey, Disruption Network. This is Mike Sacco, the general manager at Nye Volkswagen of Rome. If you don't know me by name, it's only because you have not received the best deal. There's only one reason to leave Utica, and that's to come see me in Rome and get the best deal on your next new, pre-owned, or certified VW. Mention that you heard this ad from Disruption Network and receive $250 off your next vehicle purchase. You'll know why our customers say, I love my Nye VW. Come see us at 5865 Rome Taberg Road in Rome, or visit us online at nyvwofrome.com.
Want to know what's going on at the D? Hit up DisruptionNetwork.net and check out our events calendar, brought to you by the Events Co. Find out about upcoming guests, special events, concerts, show schedules, community activities, and more. Get connected at DisruptionNetwork.net.